One of my viewers recommended this video for me to watch. It's called These 11 Things Will Screw Your Life in Finland. So that seems like a funny title for a video. Interested to see what things would screw your life in Finland. So tell me if you agree with these. Tell me if there's anything else that's not in this list or this video that should be on here, but let's watch.
Finland is definitely an awesome country, but every coin has its flip side, you know. And in this video I will show you 11 things in Finland that will screw you up. Let's go check them out.
Yeah, go subscribe to his channel, Alexei himself.
Voi perkele!
Abloy locks.
Abloy is a Finnish lock invention invented by Finnish Emil Wilhelm Henriksson in 1980. And all Finnish doors have this Abloy lock system. Let me show you how it works. When you look at the Finnish doors from the side, you can see that there is this little knob. When the knob is in upwards position, it means that when you close the door, it will lock and you need the key to open the door. If it's in a downward position, the door will be unlocked even if you close the door. What this means that if you forget to take the key with you and you put the knob in the upward position, you close the door, it means you will lock yourself out. And this happens, it has happened to me also. Like when I was in Japan, they didn't have this kind of lock system. You always had to use the key to lock the door. But in Finland, it doesn't work that way. And so you have to be careful when you come to Finland. You maybe rent Airbnb or you get your own place. And so it's important to know and remember how these Finnish locks work. And it can definitely screw you up.
I've never seen that type of lock before. Is that uniquely Finnish? Do you get it in any other countries? I think I would maybe fall foul of that, but I guess I always would take my key. Tell me if you've ever been locked out your house by that system.
Minkälainen päivä siellä on tänään? Ui saakeli, kevät on tullut, mennä tsekkaan. Jes, kevät on täällä!
Very good.
And the climate, one of the things that Finnish people always complain. Because Finland is located here in the north, the average temperatures are quite low. And for example, the winter is dark and very cold. And these harsh weather conditions can be definitely a problem, for example, people who come from the southern parts of the world. But don't worry, I have made few videos about Finnish winter and how to survive and have fun in the Finnish winter. Links popping up in the cards.
Yeah, tell me what you think about that. If you're from Finland, are you happy with Finnish weather? Do you enjoy it? I'm from Scotland, and now I live in Malaysia, so Scottish weather is definitely more similar to Finnish weather. And there's a lot of people in Scotland who just like that type of weather, who come to hot countries, don't really like it so much. They always complain it's too warm, too warm. I prefer like warm weather. Tell me if you're from Finland, do you prefer the warm weather, the cold weather? Going to be dark again, I'm sure. Yeah, that's like in Scotland in the winter as well, actually.
Kyllä on perhana pimeetä. And kind of a follow-up for the previous part, the darkness. And you know, the darkness can be probably one of the most annoying things in Finland, and especially for people who don't have to go through these dark seasons. And in the darkest times, there can be as less as only a few hours of sunlight. That's nothing. That's nothing. The darkness affects the mood of the people. Like Finns are even gloomier than usual, and you know, and we don't have much energy. We don't get as much as vitamin D that we normally get from the sun. So it definitely affects a lot of aspects in Finnish life. Hei, pistäs yksi bissi, kiitos. Ja se teki sitten 6 euroa. 6 euroa yhdestä bissestä. Ei juman tsuikka. The living standards in Finland are quite high, which means the salaries are also pretty good, but the flip side is that the prices will also are quite expensive. And stuff like rents, public transportation, dining out, drinking, socializing can be quite expensive depending on your lifestyle and also the area where you live in Finland. And for example, Helsinki area, the capital area, is really damn expensive, but like Tampere and Turku, I think they're a little bit more reasonable in this sense. Obviously, expensive is a subjective matter. It depends strongly where you come from. If you come from like Norway, it's probably even cheaper here and stuff, but if you come from like Czech Republic or Bulgaria, then Finland can be quite expensive for you. Oi!
Yeah, tell me then, especially over the last couple of years, has the cost of living increased in Finland? Like a lot? In the UK, the cost of living, whether it's gas and electricity, rent, mortgages, the cost of groceries have all increased quite a lot, but quite crazy. Is that the case in Finland too? Has Finland been able to mitigate that or just lessen the burden for people?
Verotustiedot, sekä taas.
The church? Taxes.
And good follow-up on the previous one, taxes. One factor for the high prices is the taxation in Finland. The annual income is progressive, starting from 25%, you can see some numbers here.
Up to
And then we have also
65%.
like a value-added tax, VAT, as high as 24%. But for example, food and catering services are only 40% VAT. Some stuff like books are only 10% VAT. Then we have this thing called excise tax. And excise tax is, for example, for booze and tobacco and I think sweets and stuff. And this is, for example, one of the reasons why booze is damn expensive in Finland, because the excise tax even adds up on the price. But that still doesn't stop Finnish from drinking. And when you earn money, there's like different kinds of taxes. There's like a pension tax, and you have to pay church tax, and you have to pay your city tax, and also the state takes some taxes. So there's quite a bunch of taxes. But you know, the flip side is again that with the tax money, we, for example, support free education and social services. It has a purpose, definitely. It can still affect on like a regular person like me, because quite big slice from my income is down the crapper thanks to the taxes.
I think for what Finnish people get with regards to things like education and health service, I think in my opinion it's worth it to pay high tax. I would rather pay high tax, just have that money come out my salary and then just have that better quality of life. Tell me if you agree with that being Finnish. It does seem quite high, the tax. What was that church tax? Is that a real tax? Is it, as it says, for church, for religion? Or what is that for?
Vois kyllä lähteä vähän lomalle, kun täällä Suomessa on niin kylmää ja tylsää. Mennään tsekkaa vähän lentoja. Perhana, joka paikka on näin kalliita lippuja. Miksi Suomen pitää olla täällä näin hanuurissa? You know, we already talked about a little bit about this in the climate section, but Finland is located really far in the north of Europe, which makes this kind of hard to reach if you come from like States or like central part of Europe. It's like quite a way to reach all the way here. And also, you know, the climate is pretty much thanks to the location. And also, if you want to go on a vacation from Finland, it's also expensive on the other way, because you have to reach out to places from really far from the north. But again, if you think about it in a positive light, you know, thanks to the location, we have 4 distinctive seasons, which kind of give like cool variation all throughout the year.
Yeah, so tell me, where do you go for your vacations if you're from Finland? Do you go to other Northern European countries? Is it easy to get to other places? I live in Malaysia. I love Malaysia because it's very central in Asia. So I can travel to like Thailand, Singapore, other East Asian countries, Japan, Korea, China, very easily as well. It's very central. So I love that accessibility. Finland is obviously quite a bit away, but I guess it's still relatively close to the rest of Europe anyway.
Morjesta. Siisti keli tänään tuolla, eikö se ole? Se on siistiä, kun kesä on tulossa, niin kaikki on jotenkin paremmalla tuulella ja meininki on parempaa.
Turning away.
And this is probably not a surprise for you guys and girls as well, but you know, Finns don't really engage in the social activities unless they have to. So if you think about, okay, I want to be social, let's talk a little bit from the person next to you, wrong, because that just makes you look like a weirdo. And same thing goes for smiling. Don't ever smile without a reason. Finns will think that you are weird, and they might even think that you are smiling because of them. Be careful, be careful. And yeah, because like even my mom asks, like if I'm searching fun stuff on the phone or read something funny, I start to smile. Like she's always like, "What are you smiling at?" I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like, why do we have to be so socially
Is that
awkward?
true?
I have no clue why. Please let me know. But yeah, okay, I know this is a little bit exaggerated, but this is some true stuff. But it still doesn't mean that meeting Finns is impossible. You just have to kind of know the strategy, you have to know the layout, understand how Finnish people work in social situations. When you know the right strategy, you can kind of break the ice in a good way and start interacting with Finns. So it's definitely possible, but be careful. There are some certain kind of social norms in Finland that affect our behavior in social situations.
Tämä on Hervannan kannatuslaulu. Tämä on Hervannan kannatuslaulu. Tämä on Hervannan kannatuslaulu.
Alright, like I talked about in the tax section, even if booze is damn expensive in Finland, it still doesn't prevent Finns to get wasted and drunk. And some Finns even go all the way to Estonia and import a damn cheap booze to Finland because it seems it's worth the effort. It's much cheaper there. Ever since I was in my teenage years when I saw like classmates starting to get into drinking, I don't know why, but alcohol is like a holy thing in Finnish and kind of Finnish party culture. If there's no alcohol, there's no party. And when Finns decide to get drinking and decide to go partying, they pretty much always go it all the way. Like they get really wasted, and you know they're getting kicked out of clubs, and you know even sometimes cops take
Same
them
in
to
Scotland.
jail. Okay, I don't know, this is a little bit exaggerated, but it does happen. Like every time when you go to nightclubs and you know in the parties, you always see that there's like few people who get like. This is one of the aspects
I have
that
been
I
there.
personally hate. Why do you have to be wasted to have fun? Like this is something I've never understood in Finnish culture. Many times when I've been in a partying, I've been asked quite a few times like, why do you look so sober? Why you're not drinking? But again, let's look on the bright side. Like when Finns are getting in the party mode, their socializing goes times 1,000. So if you want to go to talk to Finns and you are in in a really open social situation, like a party, this is your chance. This is your chance because when Finns drink the magic potion, the magic social potion called booze, called alcohol, that's your chance to capitalize and talk to Finns. Yeah. Hey, let's learn some Finnish, shall we?
Kusipala. The spruce is on fire. The number 6 is on fire. Wow, that would be difficult actually.
Alright, the Finnish language, you know, pretty much all the languages in Europe are Indo-European languages, but Finnish language is actually, I need to check, it's in Uralic language family. So that's why, for example, when you see these memes where the Finnish words are much more different than rest of the Europe, this is the explanation. It's a completely different language family. If we compare to our Western Scandinavian neighbors, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, their languages are pretty much similar, but when we just head to Finland, everything is completely different. And this is the explanation, the Uralic language. And the only kind of neighboring country who has a really similar language actually is Estonia. And
yeah.
Estonian actually sounds like a really hilarious Finnish. Like every time when I hear Estonian, it kind of makes me smile because it sounds something that's really close to Finnish, but it's just spoken in such a funny way. No offense, like Estonians are pretty cool people, but it's just like the way how I perceive the language. I bet my ass again that Estonians think exactly the same about our Finnish language. It sounds kind of similar to them, but we just speak it in a weird way, in their opinion. If there are any Estonians watching this video, I would love to hear like what they think about Finnish language. Yeah, do this please. Finnish is also considered one of the most difficult languages there, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. Actually, I have made you a few videos popping under the cards where you can actually start learning Finnish, and if you need some tips, there's some pretty useful videos for you. Go check them out after this one. Anteeksi. Moi. Mistä päin mä löytäisin mämmiä?
Se on tosta kun menet suoraan oikealle ja vasemmalle.
Okei, kiitos.
Kiitos.
Alright, the customer service, like I was talking with some of my friends some time ago, they were internationals, and they told that it was kind of weird. Like for example, you pay €2 for a coffee in a coffee shop, and then you have to pour the coffee yourself. And they thought that it's kind of considered as a bad customer service. Well, I don't drink coffee myself, I don't have any, I can't really put my experiences on thoughts on this, but nevertheless, it made me thinking. Is that bad customer service? But some stuff where I have experiences is, for example, if I go to a supermarket or a department store and I need to look for something specific, because I don't want to waste my time in there, I usually go for the closest clerk, salesperson I see, and I ask like, hey, I'm looking for this item, where can I find it? And unfortunately, quite a few times, the sales clerks just like tell you, it's just like you go right and then left and it's right there. And I think that's bad customer service. Like if I was there, I would take them personally to the right place and I would help them to look the correct item. That's definitely what I would do in that situation. But unfortunately, in many situations, they just tell like, yeah, it's like over there. Yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be improved. And if there's people who have experiences on Finnish customer service, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear some.
Tell me if you agree with that.
I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Okay, it's okay.
You didn't drop anything?
It's okay, it's okay.
You're okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Oho!
Oho.
Alright, this is quite interesting because people say that Finns are friendly, and I definitely agree with that, but that still doesn't equal to the fact that they would have good manners. And I definitely agree that there are quite a few Finns out there who who have some problems with basic manners, even just saying like thank you in some situations. And in Finnish we have this word juntti, which kind of translates, which is kind of like counterpart of redneck in English. Like someone who has like bad manners, doesn't really care about others, and just kind of is a little bit selfish. And again, of course, not all Finns are bad manners, but unfortunately you see them quite often. And again, I would love to hear some comments on this if there's people who have experience in this one. And some years ago we actually did this quick, funny social experiment where we opened doors to Finnish people to see like how many people would say thank you. We had 36 people and only 18 of them said thank you. And that was kind of funny. Well, I know it's just a small sample, it was university, but I think Finns could definitely improve their manners in general. Alright, we had quite a few interesting stuff. Do you agree with the stuff that I told you?
Yeah, tell me if you agree with that. Interesting. Do you agree that some people in Finland don't have that courtesy? Being from the UK, being British, that's like the number one thing we have to do is always say please, always say thank you, be overly like sorry and apologise. So if we bump someone like sorry, like sorry. But interesting, no, Finland is not always like that. So yeah, pretty cool, very interesting list. 11 things that will screw your life in Finland. Very interesting to see like another side of Finland. But tell me if you agree with these things. Is there anything you disagree with on that list? Tell me in the comments. Thanks.